Hey guys, OG Albina here, bringing you guys our AP Academy Round 1 Team Builder versus Matt O'Shea and his Montreal Milotic. We are playing Matt once again, literally the week after we played him in Week 12, which is very, very unfortunate. It's never fun. It makes things really, really obnoxious in building and stuff like that, and just going about the game. However, I did talk about it in last week's video. I did not really reveal too many sets. I didn't bring my best team at all because I knew this was a very, very likely possibility, and by the time of me and Matt playing, I was already clinched. I guess I could have knocked him out of playoffs, provided that I beat him. However, he does have a very, very scary team that matches up very phenomenally versus ours, so I didn't really want to rely on that and then have to play him round 1 playoffs again anyways, and, he had not have my best team. Now, that doesn't mean I necessarily threw. He definitely beat me fair and square. He played very, very, very well. However, I just didn't bring my best team versus him. However, this time, I think we do have a pretty awesome squad, so we're going to jump into that right here. Matchup, if you did forget, if you did forget Matt's team from last week when I went over it a little bit, he has the Ho-Oh, Tapu Koko, Z-Moves, Aegislash, Megalodios, the trio with Z-Moves, Amoonguss, Miltank, Seismitoad, Hawlucha, Bisharp, and Illumise. Now, right off the bat, I can remember what he brought last time. Last time he brought a very, very defensive Ho-Oh with Charty Berry. He was Sacred Fire, Earth Power, Roosh, Toxic, I believe. He brought a Choice Scarf Coco with Defog. He brought an SD Hawlucha. He brought a Subtoxic Mono Shadow Sneak. Aegislash, which is something we do hope to take advantage of in this matchup here. He brought a Megalodios with Dragon Pulse. I remember I had Dragon Pulse. I don't think he clicked another move versus me. And then he had a Scarfed Trio. So he had a very, very offensive team, but that makes a lot of sense versus me when his offense just kind of rips through me. However, I think we do have some things in order to stop that and check his team. And we're going to start off with that with our Deoxys attack, which is rocking the Focus Sash with Shadow Ball, Psychic, Superpower, and Rock Slide. 52 attack, 212 special attack, and 244 speed with a Rash nature. Now, this Deoxys, it basically kind of claims a KO versus his team. Well, he has plenty of ways of revenging Deoxys. He brought Double Scarf last week that would outspeed me, and he has plenty of things that can potentially take one hit. And he could always go Lucha too and outspeed me in terrain. This Deoxys can hit his team incredibly hard, minus the Aegislash. If we do get some chip on it though, and we have our Sash up, we can obviously live the Shadow Sneak and hopefully retaliate with a Shadow Ball. But yeah, as long as we have our Sash up, we should always OHKO that thing if he decides to stay in on us, because when he goes into his sword form, he gets blown away by Shadow Ball regardless. So that's obviously really nice. EVs wise, we have attack for max HP Ho-Oh. We OHKO that if it's not Charty Berry. If he is Charty Berry, and he's max HP, I believe we kill him after rocks, which is really nice. We have speed for Tapu Koko, and then we threw the rest into special attack just because we can hit things as hard as possible. Superpower we didn't really need to hit any benchmarks with. The only thing it really would have helped with was maybe like a Spadef Miltank if we like threw a little bit more in there, but I figured we're going to be clicking Psychic Shadow Ball most of the time. If Ho-Oh wants to come in, Psychic into Rock Slide is obviously going to do a chunk to that thing. Superpower blows away Bisharp regardless. And yeah, that's going to be Deoxys this week. Hopefully can claim a kill, hopefully can catch him off guard, take away a key component of his team. And it also helps if he doesn't get rocks up, or he defogs his own rocks away for his Ho-Oh, and he has Hawlucha still, and we have this, because this is a reliable way of potentially stopping that. And that thing absolutely just runs through our team once it gets its speed boost up. Once it gets its speed boost up, things are looking very grim for your Miami events. So we do have to kind of at least make sure it doesn't get off of Sword Stance versus us, and this Deoxys can definitely do so. Though I don't think he'd Sword Stance in front of Deoxys. I don't think anybody really would. But yeah, next up, we are bringing Tyrantrum with a much different set than last time. We're bringing Shed Shell with the Rock Hit ability, Earthquake, Shell Smash, Rest, and Sleep Talk. Max HP, 44 attack, 164 defense, 4 Spadef, and 44 speed with an impish nature. Last week, we brought like a double dance, really funky Earthquake, Head Smash, Rock Polish, Dragon Dance with Shukaberry, Tyrantrum, which was a pretty cool offensive win con versus his team. However, it definitely wasn't the greatest because of the fact that he had Aegislash as long as he kept it somewhat healthy. He had Lucha in terrain, which is the main big thing. Is Lucha goes in terrain unless I'm like +4. I don't think I ever outspeed it, so we have to get up 2 rock polishers or 4 dragon dances, which is probably never happening versus Matt's team. But this week we like to go with a more defensive set, because despite him bringing defensive Ho-Oh last time, offensive Ho-Oh actually kind of runs through me. And this is a pretty decent check to that thing if it does not have Earthquake. Even then, we're a pretty decent check, in all honesty. We have the HP plus defense to live 2 jolly unboosted Earthquakes from Ho-Oh. That's if he's not Life Orb, if he's not Extra Bell or anything like that. We always live 2 jolly Earthquakes from Ho-Oh, which is great. We have speed for Toad, and then we're creeping like him, throwing in a couple speed, I believe, as well. And then we just do the rest new attack, because despite this being a very, very defensive, Tyrantrum, we still hit his team incredibly, incredibly hard. He doesn't have too many things that really appreciate switching into the combination of Earthquake plus Head Smash. And this is actually the same exact amount of attack investment that we had last week with our more offensive set. More offensive, it was more setup variant, I guess. But this is Rest Sleep Talk 2, obviously, have that longevity versus Ho-Oh and stuff like that. We're Shed Shell so we don't get trapped by Dugtrio, which is obviously really, really important if we want to check the Ho-Oh. And yeah, that's going to be Tyrantrum this week. Hopefully it serves as a decent Ho-Oh check, because that thing absolutely just runs through me. We can also rest off burns and toxics and stuff like that, which is obviously really, really nice. And yeah, that's going to be Tyrantrum. Next up, we have our Naganadel rocking out with the Shukaberry, Beast Boost ability, obviously, Nasty Plot, Dragon Pulse, Sludge Wave, and Fire Blast. 68 HP, 188 special attack, and max speed with a timid nature. This is also very, very different from the set we got last week. Last week we brought a pretty cool set that was built by my buddy Jacob. We were actually Assault Vest, and we had like very, very little special attack investment. It was actually one of our Coco checks, which was pretty funny. But it was a pretty cool set. However, this week we are going with the with a more offensive Nasty Plot set, because it can potentially just win the game if we do boost up at the right time and get the right KOs and have the right sufficient amount of chip on things. If we can get chip on AG, +2 Fire Blast is going to blow that away. We obviously get the speed boosting if we're going to be max timid, which is really, really nice. I believe we only have enough special attack to make sure that we, what is it again? Max special attack. So we can Oko max HP H / at +2 with Fire Blast. That's if he's no Spadef. He's not very Spadef at all, which I do expect him to be. I believe he was last time to check the Naganadel. But if he's no Spadef, we can Oko him at +2, and then we throw the rest into HP. Obviously, we have a higher speed stat, so we'll get the speed boost, obviously, if we get a KO, which is great for Dugtrio because we are max speed to always outspeed that thing. If it's Scarfed and we get a boost up, then obviously that's really, really nice for us. And if not, as long as we stay decently healthy, we do have the Shukaberry in order to eat a hit from that thing, which is obviously really, really nice. We need Rocks Up in order to break through Ho-Oh, especially if he's a fatter set, but I believe that's something we can do with our next member, which is going to be Pilo Swine. Rocking out with the Eviolite, Thick Fat, Earthquake, Avalanche, Stealth Rock, Roar, 108 HP, 92 attack, 36 defense, max Spadef, and 20 speed with an adamant nature. This is essentially the same exact set we brought versus Matt last time, except for this time we are bringing Avalanche over Icicle Crash. Reason being, we can Oko him with Avalanche on his Mega Lottie if he attacks us, opposed to the Icicle Crash, which he EV'd to live that hit, which is obviously pretty smart on his end. But Pilo Swine, despite being a pretty big defensive check to Coco, we are like, we pretty much never 3 KO by that thing unless he's like Specs, Grass Knot, Life Orb, something like that. We can always take hits from that thing, which is obviously really good. It never Okos us in 1. We have enough attack to Oko no HP Coco, which is obviously really good. We have enough speed for Amoonguss creeping us. This is going to be our rocker this week. It's going to be a phaser, which is obviously really nice. And this thing puts on a lot of offensive pressure. If you saw in the first game, Ice plus Ground Stab against any team is obviously really good, but Matt's team in particular does not appreciate it very well. I wish this was a Mammoth Swine. I think like an AV Mammoth Swine would be awesome in this game, but unfortunately it is not. We just have the baby version. However, I think it'll do really, really well. If it gets up rocks and nothing else and checks the Coco from, clicking T-Bolt versus me, T-Bolt and Volt Switch versus me the entire game, then it did its job. That's all I really, really need it for. It also checks the Mega Latios, which is really good, because we don't have the best answers for that. We have this in our next member, but I think Pilo Swine's going to have a pretty important role this game in getting up rocks and just really phasing and annoying his team with dual stabs and stuff like that. So yeah, that's going to be Pilo. Next up, we have Mandibuzz rocking out with Leftovers, Overcoat ability, Foul Plague, Brave Bird, Roost, and Toxic. Max HP, 92 attack, 12 defense, 68 Spadef, and 84 speed with a careful nature. Now, this Mana Spell set is a little bit different from last time. I believe last time we had Defog over Brave Bird. We definitely were a little bit more defensive than we are, as opposed to us being more Spadef now, obviously. But we avoid a 2-hit KO from Lottie at neutral if it's not boosted from like Thunderbolt, stuff like that. We have enough speed for no speed Ho-Oh, so we can get a fast Toxic off on that thing, or potentially a foul play if he's like banded or something. Oh, not banded, if he's like max attack or something like that. I don't think band actually counts into foul play, so that was dumb. But I think, you know, it's just for if he's like max attack or something like that. We can also get off a fast Toxic, even a Brave Bird on something. We can always live a +2 high jump kick from Hawlucha from full, which is obviously really nice to know. After rocks, I believe he always knocks us out. However, from full, we do live that hit. And then we have enough attack investment to always 2-hit KO a +1 defense Lucha if he's max HP, which I thought was really, really important. I don't want to let that thing sit up for free on me, like, ever. So I am going to definitely click Brave Bird in front of that thing's face if it does try to do so. So Mana Buzz is going to be a nice little defensive glue, spreading Toxics, foul plays, Brave Birds, all that stuff. Hopefully we can avoid a burn like we did last time, so our foul plays and our Brave Birds can actually do something versus the Hawlucha. But nonetheless, Mana Buzz is a very, very important member this week. And yeah, that is basically the whole point of the set. And then lastly, we have a mon I'm really excited to bring this week. It's only my second time bringing it this season, and that's going to be Linoone. Rocking out with the Ayapapa Berry and Gluttony, Extreme Speed, Belly Drum, Stomping Tantrum, and Substitute. 20 HP, 188 attack, 244 speed, 4 Spadef, and 52, I said 244 speed, 244 defense, 4 Spadef, and 52 speed with an Adamant Nature. Now this is going to be our win con this week. This is our primary win con. If we can, you know, chip things into sufficient range and position ourselves correctly, we can totally 100% win with this mon, obviously. It's really, really nice. We live any hit from Aegislash after rocks, even if he's max attack. As long as he's not like a Life Orb Aegislash, we actually live a Sacred Sword, which is pretty insane. From a base 150 attack mon being super effective and stuff like that, which is obviously great. We Oko max HP Aegislash at +6 with Stomping Tantrum, provided he doesn't catch us with a King Shield or something like that. But we always Oko that thing at +6, which is obviously really, really nice. We have speed for Adamant Toad, I believe, and then we threw the last few into the last, you know, 4 points into defense, obviously, which is really, I mean, Spadef, which is, you know, probably could come out clutch, but probably not. But yeah, we are Substitute as well to potentially take advantage of that Aegislash that he brought us the last time if he is going to be Sub-Toxic Mono Shadow Snake, which I don't really think should be the bring versus me in all honesty. But if that is what he brings, and then this Linoone can totally set up and take advantage of that thing. And potentially just really run through his team. Substitute is also nice for playing mind games, even if he's not that set, and he tries to catch us with a King Shield, because Stomping Tantrum, for some reason, does make contact. I thought it didn't. If it didn't, then that would have been absolutely amazing, but it does make things a little bit more iffy, because if he does catch us with that, we obviously go to -2 attack, which is annoying. So if we can catch Substitutes on his King Shield turns and stuff like that, that's obviously really, really good. It also helps us play around Bisharp and Dugtrio Sucker Punches and stuff like that, more so Bisharp opposed to Dugtrio. We'd have to be pretty low for a Dugtrio Sucker Punch to knock us out, unless he's like banded or something like that. But yeah, that's going to, well, against no, it's not for Dugtrio, because ECP I'll prioritize Dugtrio. I'm dumb. It's more so for the Bisharp, because we actually have to hit that thing with Stomping Tantrum in order to really do a lot of damage to it. And if it's not chipped in a range of +6 E-Speed, which we can do pretty easily depending on what set he is and stuff like that, then we obviously want to sub up and potentially get a Stomping Tantrum off on him. But yeah, that is going to be the team that we have rocking for round 1 of playoffs. I really like it. I think it's definitely a huge upgrade of the team we brought last week, and I think it can potentially do well provided we play our cards right. But yeah, with that being said, that's going to be the team builder. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Especially if you want to see our round 1 game, as it goes up tomorrow, and it is definitely a good one. So be sure to stick around for that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here. Later.